Hey everybody. Welcome to the real return of these streams. You know what? I'm coming out of my speakers. Hang on. What? What? Oh, you know what? My daughter was playing with my microphone the other day, and I turned on listen so she could hear herself. There we go. That's fixed. Now I can't hear myself. Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing well. Did a stream last week, but it was definitely more like a chill, sort of informal situation. Not that this is gonna be less chill, but we're actually gonna do some stuff. We're actually gonna be creative in this stream, and we're gonna do some prep for a game I have coming up. Paladins. We're resuming Paladins this coming Monday, and I need to prep for it. So I put out a poll on the Patreon for my Sword and Skull patrons, and they went ahead and voted for game prep for the stream. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. So if you're hanging out, if you're in the chat, feel free to say hi. And as always, any questions that come up, anything you want to talk about, please feel free to toss in there as well. I'm happy to have the company. So let me put my glasses on. And also just like, how's everyone doing? How's everyone holding up? The first few weeks of January have been absolutely bonkers, but things are kind of leveling off for me personally. And obviously the political climate here in the US has been a little bit calmer the last couple of days, which has been a nice change of pace, to say the least. So I'm feeling good tonight. I just had a good day today. It was I spent half the day with my daughter, and then the second half of the day I did a bunch of work. I got a deadline fished, and we also had a really, really good, productive ab-tab meeting that took up a good portion of my afternoon, but it was a really, really good meeting. So I'm feeling good coming into the stream tonight, which is a good feeling. So I'm happy to be doing this and hanging out with y'all. So we're doing game prep for Paladins. So it's going to be Paladins session. No, it's going to be session 10. We're in the double digits now. And if you don't watch Paladins, first of all, you should. I think it's a good campaign. But I'm not going to make you go watch 9 sessions right now to get the gist of what we have going on here. So Paladins it's a mecha hack game. It's set in the Lodestar Alpha setting, and it's very Gundam inspired, very Gundam Wing inspired. The characters are all like teenage cyber soldier mecha pilots. And in the last session, in session 9, they made some pretty big discoveries about themselves and this project that they had been involved in. And one of the characters was confirmed to be a clone, which we had kind of suspected for a while. But then there was another character, Tulip Joe, played by Matt Brown, who we found out was also potentially a clone. And so we've got some craziness going on there. And we had, at the end of the session, we had one of the, sort of the big bad of the campaign, who's known as Calypso. She showed up and was going to suit up in her mecha. So we're actually going to start this session with everyone separated. They're all on like different floors of this military installation, and there's enemy mecha outside. So they're gonna have to try to get to their mecha or try to figure something out. So I thought that it would be beneficial to kind of try to start the prep with refreshing myself on where everybody is. So I know that Tulip and Maddie were in the data archives, and they had just watched Saxifrage's video logs, and then Zasha and Mora were in the what did we call it? We called it, so the archive, the genetics chamber. That's right. And they had discovered failed cloning attempts and genetic data on all of the Paladins. They deleted this. And I think, if I remember correctly, Tulip and Maddie downloaded video logs as well. Hey Cole, how's it going? Good to see you. And then we had Pax off on his own, interrogating scientists. So that's where everyone was, and I'll go back and I'll watch the session to figure out exactly where everyone is, like on the floors of this station where they're at. But for now, I think that this is a good enough place to get started, so we can kind of start going over what's going to happen. Yeah, they did. So they deleted the information, and then I think they also drained the liquid from the cloning tubes. So basically getting rid of anything that was there. So we've got a few things that we want to have happen in this upcoming session, and we're sort of getting to the end of the campaign, and so we're tying up loose ends, and these revelations that are being had are kind of setting us up for like the final act of the campaign. So we're definitely going to have a fight through through Warwick. I want to have, so let's jot down some ideas here. On foot stuff, maybe a firefight back to their mecha. Possibility of destroying the station, basically overloading reactors or disabling coolant and allowing the volcano to erupt, because the station is built in this volcano. Very Mandalorian there. And then I was thinking for inside, let's think. Oh, they have the mecha hangar, which they did visit, and they found schematics for Warhawk, Waltz, Triad, Void, and Hail. That's right, with the Paladin frames. I think they were talking about destroying that, but I don't think they had yet. So, destroy these frames. Destroy the frames. Okay. So we should make a note that the mecha production facility, I think that they deleted the schematics for Warhawk, Waltz, Triad, Void, and Hail. That's right. So I have like some cool stuff happening there, and then duel with Calypso / Warhawk. So atop the volcano, or under the sea. And what I'm thinking is that we'll have Calypso and Warhawk will both be their own units, obviously, and we'll pick some cool stat for them. But then we'll have a couple of swarms they have to deal with as well of support enemies. So let's actually open up the we'll go into the mission manual folder here, and we'll pull some new stats. Enemies. So you got these swarm drones, which are pretty cool. And maybe I was thinking of having Calypso's I'm trying to think about Calypso's mecha, and I think that it is it's similar to here Kashatria. In Gundam Unicorn, one of the main baddies is this mecha here, Kashatria. And Kashatria's whole deal is, well, obviously they're like big and imposing and really scary looking, and obviously like a villain mobile suit, right? They just have the silhouette, almost like a dragon silhouette, and the big fin on the helmet obviously points to them being probably not a very nice person. And so what I'm thinking is maybe trying to evoke some of this imagery with like not necessarily wings, but like big pieces of armor that can be used to block attacks and also deploy drones. And so we have a some stats here for funnel drone mecha. And so I'm actually thinking that we'll use the funnel drone mecha stat block for Calypso. So we'll say Calypso funnel drone mecha. And why don't we let's actually use the let's roll up maybe something that would set her mecha apart in terms of its appearance. We've got a mecha appearance generator here. So I'll roll a d12 a couple of times. I got 3 and 7. Electric blue, that's cool. And 7 is patchwork construction using spare parts, which is kind of interesting too. And I want to run with that. So electric blue, paint job, somewhat patchwork. I like the idea that maybe the Paladin suits are always, they're created to enhance the abilities and the skill set and like the fighting style of the pilot. And so what I'm thinking is maybe Calypso is so erratic and adaptable that she just like keeps adding stuff onto her mecha from other mecha that she destroys. Somewhat patchwork. She salvages pieces from downed enemies to incorporate into her frame chassis. And I'm trying to think of like if we want to give her mecha a different name or if she is Paladin Calypso. And I think that she might just be Paladin Calypso. Like she might just go by her call sign. Is what I'm thinking. So we'll keep that for now. And then Paladin Warhawk we've already met. And I think did we give Warhawk a name? So Mora is Omega 9, Calypso is Alpha 6. Falk, that's right. Yeah, Falk is, that's right. So Warhawk is Falk. Last time they tangled with Warhawk, I used the Veriform mecha, but that suit was technically destroyed, so I kind of want to do something different, maybe. Trying to think of what would be good. Or like maybe what did James find? Oh, James found a missing period. Good job, James. Actually thinking that maybe we'll use the same stat block. We'll use the Veriform Mecha stat block, but then I have some I haven't thought of a clever name for them yet, but something that's in mission manual. They're going to be called like boons or buffs or add-ons or something like that, plugins, something. But they're basically like things that you can add to enemies to make them more interesting, to give them different abilities, and to kind of like tinker with them with some built-in sort of options. So I think that's what we'll do is we'll do the Veriform Mecha, but then we'll add in some extra stuff for them to do. So almost like they rebuilt Warhawk and then like made it better. So actually let's go ahead and roll again. 4. Ooh, orange, cool. Excuse me. Orange with fins. That's neat. Yeah, they're kind of like modules, Cole. So they're just little add-ons that give enemies like additional action options or abilities to work with other enemies, abilities that negate damage or increase damage, give them more hit points, make them hit harder, that sort of thing. So fiery orange paint, multiple fins, cresting, arms, and head. So if Warhawk resembled a bird before, it now resembles something closer to a winged dinosaur or dragon. So that feels cool too. So then you get Warhawk back again, but upgraded, which is like very Gundam, right? To have the destroyed mecha show up again, but like better. And then I'm thinking that we'll I just statted out these swarm drones, which are pretty gnarly. So I'm trying to decide, and maybe y'all can help me, but I'm trying to decide if the enemies that are in the battle with Warhawk and Calypso and the Paladins, if they should be other mecha or if they should be something else. And I'm leaning towards something else. I'm wondering if we want to do some swarm drones or interceptors if they're on top of the volcano, or cyclone drones if they're underwater. I don't know. What do y'all think? Should we do more mecha or should we do something else? And if we do drones, it would be cool to have them be dispatched, like or summoned, deployed is the word I'm looking for, by Calypso. So she has this like huge, scary mecha. Yeah, the Kasha J is really cool. This is one of Barker's favorite mecha designs. He has the kit of this that he's been working on for a long time called the Kasha J. It's a crazy kit. It has the little funnels and stuff. So these little things come out and start flying around and shooting lasers. And there's a module in the new mission manual book that has that. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too, Cole. I think that the drama should be on the two other clones on Valk and Calypso. So I like the idea of the other enemies being the drones that are deployed by Calypso. So we'll say either cyclone drones or swarm drones, depending on environment. Deployed by Calypso. And then what we're going to do is we have environment templates, which are new in mission manual, and they basically give rules for various different environments. So we have airborne, corrupted, ruined, space, underwater, and volatile. So I think that if we're doing underwater, we'll do underwater, obviously. But then we have this volatile as well. And so if they're fighting in the volcano, then we'll use volatile. If they escape underwater, then they'll be fighting underwater. So we'll go ahead and use either the underwater environment template or volatile. Cool. So they'll have the fight through Warwick, which will come up with some cool stuff here. And then they'll come out and they'll duel with Calypso and Warhawk. And then I think that maybe... Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping for that, Cole. In fact, even if they go underwater, I might still have, like, Calypso, like, shoot the volcano. Because Calypso, because she's a funnel-grown mecha, she has a hypermatter particle cannon. This big, like, like a big, like, spiraling beam of energy. So maybe she intentionally shoots that into the volcano and, like, causes a underwater eruption to happen. So I think we'll actually put that here. If underwater, or what, we won't even say of underwater, but just at some point uses cannon to crack the volcano and cause eruption, which would be pretty dope. And then with Warhawk, I want to make a note here that Warhawk is definitely like fighting sluggish, maybe even not, how do I say this? Basically, like, I want it to be made clear that Warhawk is losing clarity, losing strength, losing ability, like losing against Mora, and then being pushed beyond his limits in the Geist system by Calypso in the training simulator, I think has taken a toll on him. So fighting sluggish, slow, clumsy, the Geist system has taken its toll. And then another thing with Calypso is that she has achieved, what did I call it? Full... what did I call it? There it is. Perfect synchronization. Yeah, poor response time. That's a good way to say it. Perfect synchronization with Geist system. So basically, the only paladin who's achieved perfect synchronization with Geist system is Maddie, and he hated it. And but Calypso was able to do it at an incredibly young age, and she does it intentionally. And so I want to make it clear when it happens, that what's happening is the same thing that happened to Maddie, but she's doing it on purpose. She's allowing the Geist system to basically use her like a puppet. She is it's like a VPN. Like the computer that is the Geist system is using her as a processor, using her as a network through which it can act and manipulate the mecha. So yeah, cool. So that'd be a cool fight. And then probably come up with like I don't know, like a cool thing that can happen. Let's see. I think they landed the Okami underwater, and they have to get back to it. So maybe, oh man, threatens to blow up the Okami with her cannon. Like, if the fight is not going in her favor, she might turn the cannon on the Okami and be like, "You like surrender, or I'm gonna blow up the Okami and everything inside of it," which would, I think, Tulip Joe would not allow that to happen. So that would be an interesting conflict as well. So, cool. Cool. So that feels really good. And I might put like escape from, what was the planet called? Agonor, that's right. Escape from Agonor. Cool. Let me go ahead and just drop a little formatting in here, just to keep everything neat and tidy. Do heading 3. Keep it reasonable. Yeah, I like the idea of Falk like kind of being a sympathetic bad guy, because, you know, I kind of set him up as being like the big bad for the campaign to some extent, him being a clone, but really he was raised essentially by Calypso, whereas Tulip and Mora were raised by the real Saxifrage, and they, even though they are super soldiers, cybernetically enhanced, you know, weapons of war, they were still essentially raised by their mother, whereas Falk was raised by his like somewhat psychotic older clone sister. And so he is a victim of circumstance. And it's that like nature versus nurture question. The only difference between him and Mora is that Mora was raised by Saxifrage and Falk was raised by Calypso. So I want to have Falk kind of attempt to potentially redeem himself. But I also don't want to write that into the notes because I want it to happen. I want it to happen naturally. So I like the idea that he might reach out for help through the Geist system, potentially either through Maddie's deeper connection to the Geist system, or through his sibling connection to Tulip and Mora. So if it feels natural for that to potentially happen over the course of the combat, I might throw that in. So yeah, I think he would, and I think he would, Cole, and I think that that any of those feelings would probably be reinforced by Calypso. I think that Calypso would engender in Falk a hatred for his other siblings, and the knowledge that they left the family. you know. So I think that uh, Falk is aware that he's a clone and has been his entire life, whereas Mora and Tulip have kind of been left in the dark, which is, shitty in and of itself. But I think that Falk growing up, knowing that he's a clone and knowing that his his identical twin and his other sibling Tulip have abandoned him, along with their mother, both of their mothers, really, the original Tulip show and Saxifrage, leaving them behind. Yeah. Yep, exactly, Cole. And he hates Saxifrage. That's exactly right. So I think that if Falk reaches out for help, it would be instinctual. It would be a psychic, a flash, a feeling, an emotion. It wouldn't be him getting on the comm and saying, I need help. It would be, it would be instinctual for him. So that feels cool. I want to come up with like some cool stuff to happen here. And I think we can do, someone else is in here looking, doing some editing, I think. We have mission complications that we can roll on here. So let's do that, maybe. 1. Enemy reinforcements have the drop on you. Well, I mean, that's fair. Yeah. So we can, we'll have that, troops, unload from, Calypso's ship, attempt to retake Warwick. Yearning for connection is a great way to describe that goal. Yeah. Because any sort of sibling or familial connection that Falk has yearned for, like you said, a yearning, has not been reciprocated by Calypso. Calypso sees Falk as a tool, just as she sees herself as a tool. A clone was built for one purpose. That is how Calypso sees herself, and that's how she regards her brothers and sisters as well. Brothers and sister, rather. So I think that these guys, these troops that are unloading, they have like cyber armor. Not mecha, but powered armor. Oh, wow. Yeah, I can't even imagine, Cole. That would be so tough. Yeah, like, that is the... I mean, that's the thing with Mecha, is that there's always these, like, very, like, human stories at the core. And I know you can say that about any genre, but that's... Mecha in particular, I think a lot of people kind of pass off as being, it's just giant robots punching each other. And, like, yeah, that's kind of the initial appeal, but, like, I don't know, like, watching Gundam as a kid, like, there were so many themes that resonated with me as a kid, and, talking about, like, the greater problems of, like, war and capitalism and greed and, kids being used as instruments for terrible things. And there's just a lot there. And Mecha is a like any genre, is a canvas you can paint any sort of painting on. So yeah, yeah, tragic human stories. Yep. So I've been enjoying playing with that over the course of a long campaign, because it's difficult to work that into a one shot. And Mecha Hack is great for one shots, but really Paladins was my way of saying, you can run a campaign using Mecha Hack. You can run 10, 15 sessions and still have fun telling the stories, and have a sense of progression and development. So it's been really a joy to run this campaign. And I'm sad that it is starting to wrap up and coming to an end, but I also I'm happy with the way that it's gone, and I'm proud of the story that we've told with it. So yeah. So the Paladin suits are stored in the subterranean sections of the base. I think that I'm just going to make a quick little list of challenges they might come up against. Hacking through a sealed blast door or energy field. Disabling security measures. Turning sentry guns on enemies. What to do with the science teams here. Like, that'll be a conflict that they have to deal with, especially if they decide to melt down the base. Like, are they going to warn the science team, tell them to evacuate, give them a chance to get out, or are they just going to say, screw it, they're trying to clone kids, like, they're evil, let's blow this place up. I could honestly see both happening, and I think that'll create some interesting conflict, too. Honestly, I think this little section here is probably going to eat up a good 45 minutes of the session. I just know it. So, yeah, I definitely don't need to over prep. This campaign is kind of sort of on what am I trying to say? On autopilot at this point. Like, I know where it's going, and I know the characters really well. So, but what is something else that could happen? Maybe, trying to think of like no, I don't want to overburden the session. I was going to say maybe we can work in something about Zasha's parents, but I think that's going to be a session 11, session 12 situation, and I don't want to overburden the session throwing that in there. We just had a super heavy expository session, going over a lot of secrets and revelations and things, and heavy character stuff and RP. So this session is really going to be more action oriented, the on foot fight through Warwick Station, wherever they end up going, and then the duel with Calypso and Falk. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm definitely gonna I'm gonna go back and listen to the last session and make sure I'm not forgetting anything, any loose threads that I need to try and tie up. But for the most part, I'm feeling pretty good about this. So I think that's probably where we'll leave it. So, but I'm good to hang out for a few more minutes here. If anyone has any questions or anything, or if y'all want to talk about anything, or whatever's going on, we got some chill tunes going here. So, I do want to say that I really have appreciated the nice comments about the one-page RPGs that I've been making. Plasma Torch and Burrows and Briars are both available on the Patreon. My goal is to make one of those a month for the year. So by the end of the year, y'all have 12 or 13 of these one-page RPGs that I've been working on. So I have a list going of the different ones that I want to make, and I think for the next one I might throw up a poll for Sword and Skull patrons and see what people are thinking they want to see next, and use those polls to kind of decide which one I want to do next. So eventually those one-page RPGs will be available through Absolute Tabletop and on Drive-Thru RPG as pay-what-you-want products, but patrons here will continue to get them at least a month in advance before anybody else gets them. So, yeah. Oh, awesome, Cole. Very cool. Please do let me know how it goes. I am genuinely interested to hear how it goes. I might run a game here for my wife. Actually, she's very interested in it, in playing that. So, they're really fun. I've really been enjoying putting them together. They come together pretty quick for me. At least they do now. And it's a fun, kind of challenging exercise to try and fit a whole game on a single page. It's both easier and more difficult than designing a game without those constraints, if that makes sense. So I have some cool ideas for ones I want to make. It really allows me to like focus on a cool theme and really just like create something specifically tuned to that theme. So like Plasma Torch is all about like, breaking into stuff and stealing salvage and things like that. Honestly, hit me up on Facebook or have Keel get in touch with me, and depending on what day and time y'all are doing that, I might want to come play with you guys and play some Burrows and Briars. That would be fun. Appreciate that. I appreciate the invite. It just really allows me to like hone in on a theme and really build something around that theme. So yeah, I've got some cool ideas. I have some like half-formed games sitting on my drive that I probably won't ever do anything more with, but there's still so much written for them. And I want to take some of those and rework them into one-page RPGs. I feel like that would be cool. So, yeah. But, I think that's probably going to do it for me tonight, guys. I really appreciate people tuning in, hanging out. Cole, thank you so much for hanging out in the chat. I really appreciate your continued support and just your candor with me. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, and I don't get to play as often, and that is one of my goals in 2021 is to run fewer games and play more. So it would be really cool to be able to play a game, especially one of the one-page RPGs that I've written. So, yeah, I really appreciate that invitation, Cole. And I would love to take you up on it, depending on day and time and everything. So, yeah, I'm going to continue pumping out those one-page RPGs, and I've got some other cool stuff coming down the pipe as well. I finally feel like the wheels are turning. I feel like I'm out of the mud, and I'm starting to coast down the hill, and I'm picking up a little bit of momentum with my productivity and my creativity for the year. So, lots of cool stuff to come, and it's going to be a really good year for the Patreon. So, again, I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for your continued support, for engaging with the content and not just, consuming it. I really appreciate it. And, we'll do this again next week. I'm not sure what we'll do, but I'll put up a poll and we'll decide what kind of hangout we want to do. So, thanks again, everybody. Take care. Happy gaming all, and we'll catch you next time.